for the Toronto Tempo. That's right, the expansion franchise. I'm still baffled that the New York Liberty moved on from her. And I still don't love the fact that the Indiana Fever didn't snatch her up. Oh, but Stephanie White. Oh, but nothing. If you listen to how this lady has spoken about the most valuable asset that this league has, which is Caitlin Clark, I would think if you were a Caitlin Clark fan, this would have been your number one contender to have come coached Caitlin Clark. And we're also...
She did it. Sandy Brondello rejected more money than any WNBA coach has ever been paid, turning down established franchises like the Dallas Wings and Seattle Storm to instead lead the new Toronto Tempo expansion team. The WNBA was utterly baffled. Everyone assumed she was headed to Dallas to coach Paige Buckers, yet she chose a completely unknown path, sacrificing what could have been a historic payday. Her decision sent shockwaves across the league, leaving fans and analysts scrambling for answers to this unprecedented career move. This wasn't just a coaching change, it was a statement.
So Sandy Brondello is the former coach of the New York Liberty, who is the current coach of the Toronto Tempo. Obviously, she's someone that was very much expected to be coaching the Dallas Wings. Everyone thought she was going to be coaching Dallas Wings, coaching Paige Buckers. And apparently, she turned down more money. And from what I've been reading, I think she turned down the most money. As in, she turned down the most money a WNBA coach has ever been paid to not coach the Dallas Wings.
The move itself was steeped in controversy, especially after the New York Liberty shockingly parted ways with Brondello in September. Many in the league were stunned, particularly by the Indiana Fever's failure to snatch her up, given how passionately Brondello had spoken about Caitlin Clark, the league's most valuable asset. She seemed like the absolute perfect fit for the Fever. To many Clark fans, this was a missed opportunity, a truly baffling oversight that left them questioning Indiana's strategic decision. The Caitlin Clark effect should have been an undeniable magnet.
Because there's also going to be, collateral things and benefits that come off playing with the Indiana Fever. Again, you're playing for the Dallas Cowboys of the WNBA, right? Far and away the most popular team. A lot of extra eyes on you, yada, yada, yada. Let's look at this first, because I found this to be interesting because she had job offers from two other clubs, talking about Sandy. After shockingly parting ways with the Liberty back in September, Sandy Brondello was named the coach of the WNBA expansion Toronto.
Reports confirmed that Brondello received offers from at least two other WNBA clubs, the Dallas Wings and the Seattle Storm. Crucially, one of these teams presented a financial package significantly higher than what Toronto ultimately offered. While the exact figures remain confidential, speculation suggests the rejected sum was well over $1 million, a staggering amount for a WNBA coaching position. This wasn't merely a small pay cut, it was a conscious decision to walk away from generational wealth, making her eventual explanation even more critical.
Down the most money. As in, she turned down the most money a WNBA coach has ever been paid to not coach the Dallas Wings. To not coach Paige Buckers. And I get it. The organization is a big factor as well. But, I'm sorry. Money talks, and also, look, there are bad organizations where you're like, you know what? Yeah, this may not be the greatest organization in the world, but we're gonna win. And it's rare.
Brondello's public reasoning, shared during her introductory press conference, painted a picture of deep alignment and a unique vision. She stated, "This is a place I wanted to be, to build a team from the ground up that really excited me. There's a lot of alignment, but in the end, it was about the partnership." Specifically, she cited her bond with Toronto Tempo general manager Monica Wright-Rogers, highlighting their day-to-day collaboration and an undeniable right feeling. This explanation, while seemingly straightforward, only deepened the mystery for those focused solely on the money.
Apparently, a couple of other WNBA teams made offers to the coach, but she turned them down in order to start fresh with a new team. According to Front Office Sports, the Wings and the Storm also made offers to Brondello, with one of the teams offering more money than the Tempo ultimately did. Although those exact numbers won't be released, Brondello's reasoning to land in Toronto was partially due to how she bonded with the front office there. Quote, "This is a place I wanted to be," Brondello said during her introductory.
The decision wasn't just about the financial offer, but the entire organizational philosophy. Brondello emphasized the importance of partnership and collaboration, suggesting a desire for full control and a shared vision from the top down. This contrasted sharply with the established dynamics of existing franchises, where a new coach might inherit pre-existing structures or political challenges. Her choice implied a deep-seated preference for building something entirely new, free from the baggage or expectations of a legacy team, regardless of the immediate financial incentives.
So, like, look, there are bad organizations where you're like, you know what, yeah, this may not be the greatest organization in the world, but like, we're gonna win. And it's rare you see someone turn down a job like that to coach an expansion team where, look, you're not gonna win. This isn't the Vox. You don't benefit from a real expansion draft because everyone's a free agent. And the big thing when I say a real expansion draft is that you don't benefit from being a smart organization in a league of dumb organizations because
many WNBA observers couldn't reconcile Brondello's choice with the burgeoning impact of players like Caitlin Clark. The belief was that a coach of Brondello's caliber, someone who openly praised Clark, would naturally gravitate towards an environment where she could harness such a monumental talent. The fact that the Fever with Clark did not secure her services continued to be a point of immense frustration and confusion, seen as a strategic misstep in a league increasingly dominated by star power and marketability.
Dallas hired longtime USF women's basketball coach Jose Fernandez the day after the news dropped about Brondello heading to Toronto. The Storm just hired Sonia Raymond after they parted with Noelle Quinn in September. I think Quinn is coaching in Unrivaled, if I'm not going crazy. Wasn't she the coach that seemed like the Seattle Storm always had issues about players talking about they were being bullied or this and that?
The ripple effect of Brondello's rejection was swift. Dallas wasted no time, immediately hiring longtime USF women's basketball coach Jose Fernandez the very next day. Seattle, equally decisive, brought in Sonia Raymond after parting ways with Noelle Quinn in September. These rapid replacements underscore the high demand for top-tier coaching in the WNBA and how quickly teams moved to fill vacancies once Brondello's surprising choice became public, leaving them to scramble for their second or third options.
Is that you don't benefit from being a smart organization in a league of dumb organizations because like everybody's a free agent, so teams are going to protect all their players. And it says here she will make at least $1 million in Toronto after rejecting offers from the Dallas Wings and the Seattle Storm. Sandy Brondello turned down more money from the Wings and Storm to coach. She'll still be the highest paid coach in the W, and obviously would have been probably the highest paid coach in the W. And that's a kind of mad one. That is a kind of mad.
Interestingly, the commentary surrounding Seattle's coaching situation suggested underlying issues. The previous coach, Noelle Quinn, reportedly faced challenges with players regarding bullying or an inability to handle hard coaching. This context might offer further insight into Brondello's decision. Perhaps she was actively seeking an environment free from such internal conflicts and established player dynamics, preferring to build a culture entirely from scratch where her coaching philosophy could be implemented without resistance, avoiding past team drama.
I think the Fever is going to look a lot different. And I don't know that a lot of us is going to love it, to be honest. I think there's a chance we may sit back and look and go, this is the team we got? Question mark? I'm a little concerned about it. Given the vast majority of the league's player pool is going to become free agents, it's extremely hard to predict how the free agency period will shake out and what the league's landscape will look like on the other side. But it seemed guaranteed that the Fever will come out looking great because of one key difference between them and every other.
The Indiana Fever, despite missing out on Brondello, still possess a significant advantage in the upcoming free agency period due to their young core, with Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Michaela Timpson all under team control on rookie contracts through 2026. The Fever boast unparalleled stability. This trio, particularly Clark and Boston, are considered two of the top players in the league, making Indiana an incredibly attractive destination for any free agent looking to contend alongside burgeoning superstars, further amplifying the mystery of Brondello's choice.
I don't know. I really don't. And maybe she's thinking about that being like, look, there's no pressure on you to coach the Toronto Tempo. Like, you're at an expansion team. You've got 3 years. Realistically. You've got 3 years to get good. And if your deal is, say, a $1 million for 3 years, they're realistically, no expansion team is going to fire their coach for being bad in their first year. Like, I understand Natalie Nakase did it, but again, they benefited from the fact that teams like the Fever were dumbasses and let Temi go instead of.
Indeed, the argument can be made that Clark and Boston are already top 10 players in the WNBA, an astonishing feat for players still on rookie contracts. The only other rookie contract player potentially in that conversation is Dallas Wings star Paige Bueckers. This concentration of elite cost-controlled talent positions the Fever uniquely in a league where veteran contracts are becoming a major negotiating point. This star power, the Caitlin Clark effect, should theoretically make Indiana the most desirable coaching destination, rendering Brondello's decision even more counterintuitive.
The reason Indiana has a major edge heading into free agency period is that they have 3 players under team control with rookie contracts. These players are Michaela Timpson, Caitlin Clark, and Aaliyah Boston. There's a case to be made that Clark and Boston are 2 of the top 10 players in the WNBA right now. Is Aaliyah Boston a top 10 player in the WNBA? The only player who still is on a rookie contract that could potentially be in the same conversation is Dallas Wings star rookie Paige Bueckers. Let me just look here.
Adding to the complexity is the volatile landscape of WNBA free agency this winter. With the old CBA expiring and almost every veteran player slated to become a free agent, teams are facing unprecedented uncertainty. The league's player pool will look dramatically different, making long-term planning a significant challenge. In this environment, Brondello's decision to lead an expansion team rather than an established one becomes an even bolder gamble, preferring to navigate uncharted waters rather than an unpredictable veteran market.
Coach, make a choice that I'm in shock about the choice, if we're being completely honest. I'm in shock that this has happened. But like, hope her team makes the playoffs next season. They won't. They absolutely won't. But we have seen her turn down the Dallas Wings. And this is one of those jobs that I think a lot of people thought that the Wings was this like comparable job to last year's Fever team. And like,
one potential explanation for Brondello's choice could be the allure of reduced pressure. Coaching an expansion team, especially in its inaugural years, offers a unique grace period. No expansion team is going to fire their coach for being bad in their first year. The analyst observed, realistically granting her 3 years to build without the immediate scrutiny or sky-high expectations of a championship contender. This environment provides stability and patience, a stark contrast to the win-now demands of teams like Dallas or Seattle, where every season is a referendum.
There's a section of players right now watching the response and the treatment that Sophie Cunningham is receiving from some fans. I don't know if they were old Indiana Fever fans. Some people were saying, nah, it's actually like Angel Reese fans and old WNBA fans. I don't know. But we talked about all the great things that players could could benefit from by coming to play around Caitlin Clark, and then when they do it, oh, that's a problem. Well, wait a minute. This ain't Burger King. You don't get to have it your way. You don't get to have it.
The broader criticism of past dumb organizations in the WNBA's expansion history also provides context. Teams have made questionable decisions regarding player protection and roster building. By starting fresh with Toronto, Brondello gains the opportunity to build a smart, cohesive organization from the ground up, free from the inherited mistakes or poor strategic choices that have plagued other franchises. This focus on foundational integrity rather than immediate star power or existing rosters highlights her long-term vision.
It's one of those things, but it is still an interesting thing with the Wings, as you would think having the opportunity to coach Malonga or coach Page would absolutely be a more lucrative job than this. Clearly not. But yeah, it's a really interesting one there. And I wonder how much.
The sheer magnitude of the rejected offer, potentially over $1 million to not coach a generational talent like Paige Bueckers, struck many as absolute madness. The analyst reiterated, she turned down $1 million. That is kind of crazy. That is really crazy, because that is money that's serious money. This unprecedented financial sacrifice for a coaching role left many incredulous struggling to comprehend a decision that seemingly defied all conventional career wisdom in professional sports.
Anyway, the team is going to look a lot different. I made my predictions. I thought Sophie would come back for sure. I'm not so sure now. In fact, I'm leaning a little unlikely, although I do believe when players make statements like she made the other day, it's a negotiating tactic. You see this in other sports all the time. I don't think a lot of WNBA fans are used to seeing it because a lot of them doesn't watch NFL and MLB and whatever, but players will make comments because it puts some pressure on the team.
Even the Toronto offer, though less than the highest one rejected, still positioned Brondello as the highest paid coach in the WNBA. This fact is crucial. She still secured a lucrative deal, demonstrating her value while prioritizing non-monetary factors. It wasn't a choice between wealth and poverty, but between maximum wealth at one organization versus significant wealth and a specific vision at another. This nuance suggests a deeper professional fulfillment was at play, beyond just the bottom line.
It's like freaking rent control for teams. Like, you've got these unbelievable contracts. The Fever did a great. I'm so happy the Indiana Fever, just traded their pick for a year rental of Sophie Cunningham. They're not going to keep her even after she hooped. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? And as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Building an expansion team under the new uncertain CBA further complicates matters. With nearly every player becoming a free agent, the traditional expansion draft advantages are somewhat diluted, as teams will protect their key assets. This means Brondello and the Tempo will need to be incredibly shrewd in attracting free agents and making strategic picks. It's a challenging path, but one that offers Brondello complete autonomy over personnel decisions, allowing her to sculpt the roster exactly as she envisions. Connecting Brondello's choice to the broader WNBA environment, the current player dynamics around Caitlin Clark highlight potential pitfalls. The recent fan treatment of players like Sophie Cunningham, or speculation about Kelsey Mitchell leaving Indiana, suggests that playing alongside Clark brings unique pressures and scrutiny. Brondello's decision to build from scratch, away from the immediate glare and pre-existing player personalities of established teams, might be an intentional move to avoid such complex and potentially turbulent internal team politics. Ultimately, Sandy Brondello's rejection of a record-breaking $1 million plus offer and the opportunity to coach a talent like Paige Bueckers speaks volumes about the evolving priorities within the WNBA. Her explanation isn't about Caitlin Clark's direct influence, but the broader impact of Clark on team building, fan expectations, and the pressure on coaches. Brondello chose partnership, a blank slate, and perhaps less immediate pressure over unprecedented financial gain and the chance to coach a generational talent. It's a bold, almost unbelievable move that redefines what success means for WNBA coaches, revealing a deeper game being played behind the scenes, far beyond the money or the immediate spotlight.